Welcome back to the Boss Mode walkthrough series. This is Chapter 11, Lair of the Lich in Boss Mode. So the only downside to the Boss Mode mechanic is there's no light heroes allowed. So no light heroes means no Kira, no Zen Kira. So we're kind of basically thinking over what's another option. So we saw from the beginning that one of the main mechanics here is Yorick plus Kira is what takes this guy down. So we want Yorick on our team, so it makes sense that if we're going to put Yorick on there, why don't we just go with an Undead team? So we focus on just Undead, get the nice, hardcore Undead team. Mine is fairly ruined up. It's certainly not the best ever, but survivability is quite high. So since we can't use any light heroes, we're going to plan on using Yorick for Marked for Death. And then we will just find somebody that's got Kira as a friend hero. So if you're unlucky enough where you don't have anybody with a friend Kira, then you need to start thinking about who else is going to do some big time damage. My suggestion would probably be your Marked for Death plus Kozar. At least he's going to kill the other guys. You see that I ultimately decided to not bring my true Undead team. I brought in Cobalt because I know that he's going to be able to burn through the rooms pretty fast. There's really no reason to bring Hansuke in there. He is not going to really do anything other than to buff the team defense. That's why I put him in there before Cobalt, so that he does those basic attacks and hopefully get me some epic love in there. So Cobalt is going to be my primary killer. I don't expect Yorick or Hansuke to kill any of these guys. And occasionally Yorick's going to leave somebody survive anyways. You see that he occasionally he doesn't kill everybody because of the darkness. But once I whip out Contagion Control, that's going to kill anybody in front of me. But the main thing is just to kill most of them. And if you don't have a ruined out Cobalt, there's obviously other options. You could slow play this one with your complete Undead team if you want to. Obviously, Braum is going to be pretty tough here. But I like what Cobalt does. And then plus Cobalt is epic, so when you get towards the end, if your friend hero doesn't kill Lich, there's always possibility that Cobalt whip out an epic attack and take him down that way. So there's a lot of variation of this one. So the limitation of no light heroes, honestly, it's just the no Kira show is really all that's doing. So if this was a legendary dungeon and there's no friend heroes involved, then I could see the no light hero mechanic being a lot more dangerous, because then you don't get the Pwn Undead. If you wanted to get really, really crafty, you could try and bring in a heavily attack-based Yasmin, because she has the Pwn Undead as well, but I've never known Yasmin to be an attacker, so going that route seems a bit risky, and honestly, if you're not clearing the rooms quick enough. But with Cobalt, you probably would. But I really don't know what Yasmin's going to end up doing on the boss fight. If she doesn't deal enough damage, even with Marked for Death, it's probably not going to end in a perfect 3-star. So this is actually what I was hoping for the last time when Cobalt does his epic, because he gets 5 hits and he could one-shot him right from the start if he wanted to, unless some of his hits are slightly underpowered. But Cobalt is one of my absolute favorite heroes for taking on guys like Furnace. I use basic attack in PvP all the time when I go against Kai Furnace teams, because I'll use the darkness attack, his pandemic swarm to start with, kill some guys, and then just use that basic attack and hope for an epic, and it can usually kill Furnace on the first turn. So pretty handy. Obviously you're at the whim of the RNG for the epic attack, but still pretty awesome. So the little spirit guy almost killed Cobalt there. That would have been the only real hitch in this plan here. And you're going to get that every now and then when you run Cobalt. If you don't clear the room, obviously he's going to be susceptible to almost anybody in boss mode dungeons. I don't know many enemies that won't kill him if they do a direct attack on him. So we're going to throw our mark on the Lich. Hopefully he doesn't resist it, which he did not. He's pretty susceptible to it, but I have seen him resist it in the past. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look for a Kira, which I know I have a couple. So in this case here, it will require a little bit of a reset, couple of gems there, not a huge issue. This is the last of the boss mode dungeons, so if I have to use a couple of gems to get a 3-star and be done with boss mode, so be it. And then we'll wait for chapter 12 and on to show up. Didn't do a ton of damage, but we also got our big hitters coming, so Cobalt and Brahm. Notice how I use regular attack, hoping for the epic again. Nobody survives Cobalt Epic unless you have a major immunity to dark, or not darkness, but just dark heroes in general and his spirit-based attacks. You're not surviving that. I don't care who you are with Marked for Death. It's not going to happen. So overall, like I said, we didn't need Cobalt to do his epic there to beat this one. There's plenty of other teams. Obviously, bring who your best hitters are and who can actually survive this dungeon. So that's going to wrap up Chapter 11 here, and actually that's going to wrap up the boss mode walkthrough series for now until we actually get some more dungeons unlocked. I would run the legendary dungeons if you want to see those. Honestly, there's other videos out there that would provide insight into those. I don't feel like rehashing those. I'll throw a name out there if you want to look at Zombie's channel. He does a great job at those legendary ones. He's got videos for every single one of them. No real reason to have another set of videos when they're going to be the exact same thing. I haven't come up with any teams myself that would be any better than what he's been running. So take a look at those. If you have any questions or comments or teams you'd like to workshop for any of the other boss mode dungeons, feel free to let me know. I'll be glad to continue the series with subscriber requests. Thanks.